Shalom Akim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kwakadesh. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Stone Road Well. And Akim fighting in the name of the Lord Yahbashim Yahushai, preaching the gospel, sincerity, and the truth in the houses and barriers, Brother Menashe DC Camp. And it's another reminder, man, this journey to World War III, it's a given. The Lord Yahbashim Yahushai already set it in course. So it's gonna happen, man. All this troop build up is gonna happen. He's so-called elites talking about 120,000, but hey, who knows? And they drop a number to 1,500. They need 1,500 troops just to go go over there for right now. But who knows, man? They have more, they have less. It doesn't change anything. They're gonna ramp it up because World War III is on the brink of happening. The United States will go ahead and attack Iran because it's part of prophecy. It has to happen. Without World War III, there will be no salvation. For our nation. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. So we got to deal with it, man. The draft had to take place, so it's not shouldn't happen by surprise. Okay. So I'll read Joel chapter 3. I want to read verses 1 and verse 2. Joel chapter 3, verses 1 and 2. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. All right, so Mosiah is going to take off that shackle, the iron, the iron and the brass that we've been boxed in with, the captivity that we're serving in Esau's kingdom. The Lord God Shemashah is going to do away with it. And that's the time we're living in, man. That the Lord Shemashah has to raise up the elect while they're in captivity, while they're still in the plantation. All right? And then what's also going to happen, it says in verse 2, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, the valley of decision, the valley of judgment, the valley of the Most High's judgment, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. All right, so Esau, that's the Edomites, the so-called Caucasian nations. We're gonna go against the folks in the Middle East, man. It's gonna be major war between the different houses of the nation of Shem. All right, so the Edomites are gonna go against the Arabs and the Elam. And they're gonna also have Arabs on the other side. And they're gonna have the Moabites and the Ammonites. And they're also gonna have Japheth in there. We're gonna also have the Hamites in there. So that's how World War III is gonna play out, man. Missiles being shot from one end of the earth to the other. I was watching the movie Hunter Killer. It just shows you how messed up Esau's society is, man. It's always something going on. That's always stirring up the pot, stirring up strife. All right, because there's no peace upon Esau's so-called Esau's earth. There's no peace in his dominion. That's why the Lord Yahbashim Ashai is going to cut his rulership short. All right, and that's why the Lord Yahbashim Ashai needs World War III to happen, so there will be righteousness upon the face of the earth. All right, so a lot of people don't understand, man. They don't understand why the Lord Yahbashim Ashai is doing this thing, but only the elect understand. That's what we're praying for, that these prophecies take place and we get delivered out of here. Okay, so I'll play the video, to show you that Esau needs to build up his troop, needs to bulk up the numbers, train them, get them ready for combat.
Of the President of the United States. Detail. Fallout.
The years of war in Iraq and Afghanistan have come with a human cost beyond the thousands of deaths and injuries. Repeated, grueling deployments of American troops. And that's made recruiting new personnel even harder. But now, President Trump wants a bigger army. He's ordered the largest single-year increase in recruitment targets in the history of the armed services. The U.S. Army has been told to enlist 80,000 new troops this year, up from 68,000 last year, a challenge that recruiters are going to struggle to meet. In response, they're using new tactics and higher incentives.
And they're going to have to lower the bar because, they're going to allow a lot of jakes that don't have so-called American citizenship to get in there. And not just, jakes, but the hidden also do not have American citizenship. They're going to make them serve in the army, So that's what's going to happen, man, And that's what they're also going to have the draft, too. So it's not a big surprise that these things are happening. They need to have more, they want to have more people join the ranks, but what's the use, man? This is not the way forward. The Lord Yahweh Shai didn't set up the United States Army to serve the elect. We're not meant to be living according to Esau's military rules, to be living that code of, that code, that standard, that code of ethics. It's not our cup of tea. We're supposed to be spiritually minded, not carnally minded. We're not supposed to be mercenaries for these elites that run Wall Street, that control the World Bank, the WHO, that control the pharmaceutical industry, that control education, commerce, and all that, media. We're not supposed to be mercenaries, having blind loyalty to the oppressor. The Lord Yahweh Shai said that is wrong, that you cannot have no other power before him. Alright, so that's a gross violation of the Lord Yahweh Shai is angry about. So he's going to have his elect, dip, he's going to pull them out of that madness.
They're using new tactics and higher incentives. But they're also trying something else, looser standards.
Good afternoon. My name is Major James Roulette. I'm the commanding officer here at the Louisville MEPS. I want to congratulate you for being mentally and physically qualified for military service. Detail 10 who? Ma'am, gentlemen, raise your right hand.
And that's how, Esau's, the Roman Empire, that's how they gained bodies, they gained souls, because they had to get jakes to serve, all of our land they conquered, they made the people serve in the military. That's how the Roman Empire became strong and spread out.
Qualified for military service. Detail 10 who? Ma'am, gentlemen, raise your right hand and repeat after me, please. I.
This is the main military recruitment processing center for the state of Kentucky.
The orders of?
It's processed more than 900 new applicants to the armed forces since the start of the year.
Detail. Fallout.
All of those applicants were signed up by recruiters trained at nearby Fort Knox, the center of the Army's new recruitment push. The 80,000, that's a historic level for recruiting targets, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have had a mission of this magnitude before, but not when the unemployment has been as low as it is.
So when the unemployment starts to kick back up, folks are going to get back in there. Folks are going to re-enlist, So you're going to have the former military is going to go back in. The folks, the newbies are going to join in. So that's exactly what's going to happen, man, with all the layoffs and all the stores shutting down, all the companies going overseas and having their factories overseas. That's what's going to happen, man. Folks are going to depend more on the government for survival. So they're going to put on that uniform, get shipped up, and then, get back in shape, know how to fire those weapons and operate that 50 caliber and all that artillery, learn how to fly drones and fly jets and operate submarines and man ships and all that stuff. So that's just exactly the time we're coming into, man. So they're gonna need people to take care of that part because the elites won't have control, man. So they're gonna find a way to force the people to get in there, to join the military service. So I get another precept here. This is from the book of Second Ezra. Because it's going to be a sad time for these people. So I'm going to get Second Ezra chapter 16. Yep, it's going to be a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth. All right. So this is the book of Second Ezra chapter 16. I'm going to start from verse 33. All right. So it says, the virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms, and women shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. Verse 34, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So it's going to be messed up, man. Once that supply line gets cut off, no food to get to the troops, they can't make it overseas. The supply can't make it because the pirates already took over shit. The so-called Somalis already hijacked the ship. The Elam already hijacked the ship. Ishmael already hijacked the ship. The ship is going down to the bottom of the ocean. That's it, man. There's gonna be so much bickering and anger among the troops. All right, so that's exactly what's gonna happen, man. Because once there's no supply coming in, they're gonna lose, and that's exactly what the Lord Hashem is gonna let happen to the American troops during World War III. It's gonna discomfort them. It's gonna put them in a hard place. So this is exactly what the Lord Hashem is gonna do in these last days, right? So you get another precept and you look at Isaiah chapter 13. Folks think it's a joke, but it's not. All these so-called televangelists, they know what's going on, but they don't want to tell the people. They just pretend that the so-called prosperity doctrine is the best doctrine that is ever in the Bible. All right. So Isaiah chapter 13, I start from verse 11. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So all this, American exceptionalism is going to go down the drain. It's going to get kicked. It's going to get kicked to the corner. Then you jump to verses 15 and 16. It says, everyone that is found shall be thrust true, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So that's what's going to happen in World War III, man. All these alliances that want to go for these folks to join the American military, and all these nations want to go along with the American military, they're going to get torn apart, man, by the opposing parties, either by the Russians or the Chinese or the Turks, or Elam. It's going to happen, all right? They're going to get torn apart. Verse 16 says, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. So that's a destruction that's coming upon the face of the earth. America is not going to be exempt from this destruction that's coming. And you could tell the elites, man, they know what the plan is. That's why they had their underground bunkers. All right. So that's why they control the economic, state of a country, of a nation.
Unemployment has been as low as it is right now.
Major General Snow heads up the Army's recruitment mission.
What do you think the number one question was? Are they going to deploy, right? So when they asked me, I looked them straight in the eyes and I said, ma'am, more than likely, yes. I said,
but he and his recruiters have a tough job ahead of them.
When I told them that, you should see their face. They're just...
The strong economy has made the Army's offer of secure employment and nice benefits less attractive. And the pool of young Americans who are even eligible for military service has shrunk dramatically, thanks in large part to the rise in obesity.
It's a very challenging climate, given the magnitude of our mission. But a lot of folks want to talk about, well, some of the challenges out there, only 3 in 10 can actually meet the qualifications to actually serve. The challenge we have is really getting the word out to the youth today.
Has it been tough to recruit people, though, given the last almost 2 decades of wars?
Yes. I mean,
That's why they open up the military for women, getting there, the lowering the standards. At one point in time, sodomites could not join, but now they say don't ask, don't tell. So that means all these folks that classify themselves to be cis and trans and LGBTQ and whatever, they're gonna have to put on a uniform and get in there and try to try to defend their freedom. Yeah, so that's how messed up it's gonna be, man. It's gonna get so tense.
Yes. I mean, I will say in that case, the research shows that the Army is the toughest to recruit for. And I don't want to make light of that. The reality is our job is to fight and win our nation's wars.
To find the people.
Yep, so they're not really fighting the nation's war. Just like so-called, General Smedley Butler talked about war is a racket, and you also have General Patton, he knew exactly what's going on too, but at the end of the day, man, they know the war is just to increase the wealth of the elites. That's what it's always been about. War is about business. It's about the struggle for dominance. That's the point, all right? So I get one last precept. So this is the book of Jeremiah chapter 51. Jeremiah chapter 51. Verse 30. It says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might had failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. So America's defenses are not going to hold up against what the so-called Russians and Iranians are going to be, putting on the battlefield in this last days during World War III. Because the scripture talks about the earth shall reel to and flow like a drunkard, and America is going to go down. America's glory is going to be burnt up. America is going to be, seen as a lake of fire, whose smoke of atonement go it up forever and ever. So that's exactly what the Lord Yahweh Shemashah has in store, So that's just the point there, Akim. So all these, America is the greatest nation upon the face of the earth is only for a short time, because the Lord Yahweh Shemashah is interested in righteousness. So that's why he's going to have Yahweh Shai return and serve the nation of Israel, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the Israelites the Bible speaks of. Going to set them back in righteousness, and America will be no more. America will just be a figment of imagination, but the land will remain, but the people, the whole idea of America, will not be exercised upon the face of the earth. So that's the point I can, so America, also known as the so-called, the Northern Army and the Holy Scriptures, they're going down to the Valley of Jehoshaphat, to be judged by the Lord Yahweh Shai. And then, and that's it. That's going to be the wrap-up of Esau's glory, Esau's strength, Esau's dominance. It's all according to prophecy. So the elites are trying to upset it, but they can't. So that's just the point that I came. So I say, Kahala Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai Ba'ashem Kwakodash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Will Be rule well. This is just prophecy, man. You can't You can't despise it. You can't argue against it, man. You just gotta pray to the Lord there about Shema Shai protects you. If you're a man of the Lord yeah about Shema Shai will guide you, man. That's why, salvation is required, man, from all these turmoils that are coming upon the face of the earth. Alright, so I can stay faithful, stay humble. You gotta understand that we live in the last days, man. You're gonna have martial law. You're gonna have collapse of the economy. You're gonna have so much violence on the streets of America. When World War III is taking place, there's gonna be famines and pestilences. Folks getting beheaded for refusing to take the mark of the beast. So the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah will show his power in these last days. You're gonna see the chariots in the heavens, messing around with the militaries of these different nations. So folks can't run away, man. The prophecy of the Lord about Shema Shah will take place, and folks just gonna rant and ramble and mumble. It's not gonna change anything, man. So it's all about the plan of the Lord about Shema Shah. So it's just that hey, brothers gotta be ready to tighten up, man. Brothers should be tighten up and ready that the Lord that Yahweh Shema Shai, shows up and deliver us. Shalom.